Welcome to Jurassic Park. Super fast tortoise.
Oh hell, the fat head with the bald spot, fried tongue.
How rude.
I have another deck tech for you.
I brought you something.
Today's deck tech is on Jodah, Archmage Eternal.
Jodah, archmage eternal.
This deck is a passion project of mine.
Hang on, this is gonna be bad.
This commander deck is not just a dinosaur deck.
It is a full-on Jurassic Park deck.
This deck hits themes and elements of the entire series of Jurassic Park.
Just enough stability to keep it from collapsing into anarchy.
And we start right now.
Don't wanna complication.
What makes a good Jurassic Park themed deck for Commander? Here I've curated a list of 5 themes and elements that make the entire series of Jurassic Park that we know and love today. First, we have dinosaurs, of course, but we are not using creatures with the changeling ability, so goodbye Morphon and any other creatures like them. We are using dinosaurs that are straight dinosaurs. Secondly, we are dabbing into the cloning and reanimation themes of Jurassic Park, as in genetic engineering and bringing back extinct animals. Thirdly, we are tapping into the basic science and biotechnology of Jurassic Park, talking about both mill for our opponents and self-mill for ourselves to get into dinosaurs we want to reanimate. Fourth of all, we have digging for dinosaurs, as in our paleontology section of the Jurassic Park deck. A lot of our draw spells are going to be digging, but the science part, number 3, helps throw stuff into the graveyard to use for digging our dinosaurs to help with the reanimation process. You'll notice throughout the deck tech there's a theme between all these elements. Number 5, we have playing in and from the graveyard. This is our excavation theme and element from Jurassic Park. Playing cards with flashback, retrace, and other things, we get to have fun playing cards from the graveyard as we toss cards into the graveyard, giving us the ability to have something to always do. And we'll always find a way to introduce a little chaos to the game. Jodah, Archmage Eternal, is our commander for this deck. This Doctor Strange looking, not Yoda commander is very powerful. Jodah costs 1 generic, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 white to cast. He's a legendary creature, human wizard, with power and toughness, 4/3. He has flying, and you may pay a white, blue, black, red, and green rather than pay the mana costs of the spells you cast. With Jodah's ability to alter the converted mana cost of spells by paying Wooburg, we are going to use this for our big, clunky converted mana cost spells. Also to help break that timeline gap of big 7 and 8 converted mana cost spells, or those spells that are very difficult to cast by themselves. This is a heavy discount. We are also not going to break the system. We're not going to get cards to abuse the ability or to get free castings out of anything. We are actually going to use Jodah's ability as a prime mechanic in the deck. Starting with ramp and mana. Wait, what's this down here? This number, 9.09% with a variable of X. Well, this number is the percentage of equity this selection of cards take up in the deck. Variable X meaning, with the interaction of other cards in the deck, the usage rate of these cards inflate to a greater value. Is this important for you to know? Not really. It's just science. Now on to the ramp and mana fixing portion of the deck. Starting off, we have Wayfarer's Bauble. Then we have Traveler's Amulet, Renegade Map, Armillary Sphere, Farseek, Rampant Growth, Then we have the infamous Chromatic Lantern. On to Cultivate. And finally, we have Kodama's Reach. Now on to the card draw section of the deck. Here you will see a good portion of cards that let us dig for options and that let us choose out of a selection of cards, alongside cards that give us long-term value. And we start with Diabolic Vision, to meddling with Forbidden Alchemy, onto Monastery Siege, including the Royal Scions, Fact or Fiction, Drawn from Dreams, and finally we have Dig Through Time. Now onto the removal spells. In this section, we see ourselves with a small selection of cards. So in order to produce greater results, each card has to offer flexibility or extra value. Starting with Mortify, we have Putrefy, Status and Statue, Death Sprout, and Casualties of War. Now, we are on the Boardwipes of the deck. Starting with Kaya's Wrath. Into End Hostilities, we have Rout, the amazing Ruinous Ultimatum, ending on Decree of Pain. Now for the Haste Engines portion.
Excuse me. Yeah. Where are the dinosaurs?
You want dinosaurs? Scratch that. We'll be back to this. I'll show you dinosaurs. Introducing Carnage Tyrant, Itali Primal Storm, Rampaging Brontodon, Silverclad Ferocidons, featuring Zatapa Primal Dawn, Fear, Gishath, Sun's Avatar. To be honest with you, Gishath's ability is second rate in this deck. He is in the deck to be a big, scary dinosaur. He is fast. He tramples through. His ability works as a 2080 roulette wheel of success, and that is for pure fun and chaos. Then we have Wakening Sun's Avatar. And finally, I bring to you, from the depths of bioengineering, this monster. It's flexible, fully functional, and the main event. I present to you Zakama Primal Calamity. And now, for realsies, the Haste Engine portion of the deck. In this section, we have the cards that give all our creatures haste, enchantments that give this deck teeth. We start with the classic Fervor. We have Fires of Yavimaya, into Rhythm of the Wild. And lastly on this list, we have Temur Ascendancy. And now, the recursion spells, the reanimating biogenetic scientific alchemy segment of the deck. This section is very powerful, yet so easily to be shut down. If another player can shut our graveyard play down, we are in for a longer game of Commander. This deck is built to play, but the recursion portion is to make our deck go fast. We can always dabble in other players' graveyards, also find another strategy to win. This deck is not a single note song, it is a symphony of awesomeness. Starting with Animate Dead, we have Savine's Reclamation, Mystic Retrieval, Chainer Nightmare Adept. We have Breaking and Entering for a little fun and some recursion. We have Sun Titan. This card is just very underrated and not used enough. I can't believe a lot of people don't use this card. We have Hymn of Rebirth. We also include the classic Unburial Rites. We also deal with the sneaky Bond of Revival, Beacon of Unrest. At no surprise, we have Eerie Ultimatum. And finally, in the recursion spells list, we have Debtor's Knell. Now, for the clones and tokens portion of the deck. This is the Life Will Find a Way segment of the deck. The cloning lets the deck strategy to evolve with the gameplay, while experimenting with the board state. It helps us with the meta we find ourselves in, while giving us duplicates of creatures we may need or borrow from our opponents. We start with Mimic Vat. Then we have Clever Impersonator. He lets us copy different non-land permanents on the battlefield. We have the Cunning Sakashima the Imposter. Into the Shifty Vesuvian Shapeshifter. And lastly, we have a card that my playgroup seems to undervalue until it takes over the game. Spitting Image. Now, for the support cards of the deck. In this section, you will see 2 cards that encourage you to follow the themes and synergy of the deck by increasing the variables of other cards in the deck and rewarding you for doing so. We have Savine the Chronoclasm. When mixing frog DNA with that of a dinosaur and it all goes awry, you get River Kelpie. Now it's time to introduce a little chaos to the game. In this section of cards, we hold alternate win conditions, we have spells with random outcomes, and disruption to enrich our game plan. Starting with Laboratory Maniac. Paired with Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. In this deck, if you win the game by decking yourself out, milling yourself to 0 cards just to win, it is not considered a win for you. It is a win for Dr. Henry Wu. We have Whispering Madness. We have Unexpected Results. Throes of Chaos. Also, we include Lord Windgrace. And lastly, the unexpected Increasing Confusion. And finally, the last portion of the deck. We have arrived to the lands. In this section of the deck, there are 35 lands. I would not suggest building a deck with such a low land count. But if you paid attention in class, you will see all the sneaky cards in the deck that ramp my land count real fast and explode into a win. Starting with 2 plains and 1 snow-covered plains. Then we have 2 islands and 3 swamps, including 1 mountain and 1 snow-covered mountain, and 3 forests for our basic lands. We start the non-basic lands with Line War Wastes. Into Temple of Triumph, we have Steam Vents, Temple of Epiphany, we have Temple of Abandon, Watery Grave, Temple of Deceit, Temple of Silence. We also have Prairie Stream, into Tranquil Cove, Murmuring Bosque, Sand Step Citadel, Jungle Shrine, Mystic Monastery, Frontier Bivouac, Crumbling Necropolis, Savage Lands. We have Exotic Orchard, the Classic Command Tower, Temple of the False God. We have Ash Barrens. And finally, at the end of the deck list, we have Myriad Landscape. And that brings us to the end of the Jurassic Park Reanimator style deck tech, featuring Jodah, Archmage Eternal. There are many hidden gems in this deck that represent the franchise. I hope you enjoyed your visit to the island today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Hit that bell so you are notified when I upload a new video. I appreciate you, the viewer. Now tell me in the comments, what is your favorite movie franchise?